recently brought to my attention that in almost every parable that Jesus proclaims, there is a twist in the parable that is really difficult to understand. I'll give you an example. This Sunday, we're going to read the parable of the 10 virgins. 5 were prudent and had oil, the other 5 weren't prudent. And these virgins, they were all the bridesmaids. And you will remember that in that gospel, or in that parable, when the 5 virgins that didn't have oil come to the house and knock on the door, the groom says, "I do not know you." And that's a twist, because normally the bridesmaids are very close to the family. In today's gospel, there's also an interesting twist. This steward, he acted very dishonestly. He also acted dishonestly when he knew he was not going to be a steward anymore. He renegotiated all of the debts that people had with his master. And how does the parable end? The master congratulates the steward for being dishonest, for being cunning but being dishonest. This is very strange. I think no master would congratulate his steward when he finds out he's dishonest. So what's the takeaway from this parable? The takeaway is Jesus is inviting us to be cunning and shrewd in the same way as a steward in the gospel, in the parable. But how are we supposed to be cunning? He says, in the same way that this man was cunning to renegotiate the debts, he was cunning with money so that he could find a place where to work after he was fired. In the same way, Jesus is calling us to be cunning with our own treasure, so we may be admitted in the kingdom of heaven because we use cunningly our treasure. So I guess that this whole parable is an invitation for us to ask ourselves, am I being cunning enough, astute enough, prudent enough with the way I use my treasure so that I can later be admitted into the kingdom of heaven? And I think that this gospel, let's take it a step further, is also an invitation to ask ourselves, am I being generous enough? Am I called to give up more of myself so that I can give more to others of my treasure? So, brothers and sisters, let us accept and let this parable come to our lives and just really think about if we're cunning and astute enough in the use of our treasure.